Okay, this is take 3, man. I've about had it with this. It's May 31st. And this is the North Fork of the American River here, overflowing with water, water, water everywhere, which is good for us now because we've got like no planets in water except, you know, Neptune and Chiron in Pisces, but I think Pisces is ether, not water anyway. Water is feeling and emotional and changeable, moving. Pisces is spiritual, meditation, nirvana, enlightenment, out of body. You know, come on. Very different energy. Feel this water just like, you know, shaping and moving mountains. Speaking of mountains, we've got, you know, Mercury in Taurus, fixed Earth, trining Pluto in Capricorn, the mountain goat, the goat fish Capricorn. And what else is going on here? I'd say the big thing is Venus is coming around. She squared Pluto last week, and now she's coming around on Saturday. She's going to conjoin with Uranus before finally exiting Aries next Tuesday. It's been a long stint. Venus first went into Aries February 4th. And yes, she went retrograde back into Pisces for a little while, but we have had this Kali, Aries, hard-ass feminine energy going on for quite some time. It's just, you know, the feminine is receptive, soft, listening, open. You throw Venus into Aries and you can forget it. You know, it's like charge, hard as nails, you know. It's like Xena or something. Isn't that some, you know, warrior goddess these days? So, wow, it's going to be a big shift here happening next week when she goes into Taurus. Mercury is also, you know, at that same time on Tuesday. I drew the chart for it. Look at it at the beginning. Moves out of Taurus into Gemini. So Venus is coming home to Taurus next week. And Mercury is coming home to Gemini next week. And also, even before that, Mars is coming home to Cancer. Not that it's really at home in Cancer. Cancer just rules the home. But Mars in Cancer is like what we're looking at right now. Yeah? Moving water. Cancer is cardinal water. Mars is going to be there for a couple months, stirring it up here June and July. And it's going to be, yeah, fire, planet, water sign. Hold on to your hats. It's going to be some powerful, emotional energy surfacing after all of this fire, air, and earth going on. Yeah. The big thing I want to talk about today too also is what? The Sun opposite Black Moon Lilith. Sun in Gemini opposing Lilith. Mars is still really opposite Saturn if you want to get technical about it. You know, I mean, all the way till Sunday. As long as it's in Gemini, it's going to be opposite Saturn. So this is Sun and Mars in Gemini opposite. Yeah, Saturn and Lilith in Sagittarius. We want to talk a little bit about what that indicates, because in addition to that, on Sunday, the Sun is exactly square Neptune. So we have a T-square. Sun, Lilith opposite, both squaring Neptune. Let me look at the camera and talk about it. All right, everybody. Hope that river's not too loud. Shit happens. I'm out in nature, by God. Nature. Sagittarius, 9th house, nature. Natural law. Truth. It's like expansion. It's philosophy and religion that seeks to give a greater, grander, higher, broader perspective on things. The expansion of consciousness. This is where Lilith is happening, really from February to November of this year. And we know Saturn is hanging in there all this year, even touching up to the galactic center, right? Which we could say is a funnel of universal truth coming in here. So Saturn and Lilith doing this dance in Sagittarius, and then what? Jupiter's the ruler of the 9th house in Sagittarius, and it's in opposition to Uranus, which has to do with enlightenment, okay, like seeing with laser beam clarity, and it's squaring Pluto this year, okay, the deepest Kundalini force and life energy. Figure it out, connect with it. That's why I said this year has to do with the end of illusion. Yeah? Pull back the veil, see the truth. And so what this involves is what? The sun comes around to Gemini. Mars comes through Gemini. And Gemini is the trickster, okay, the gypsy, you know, the eternal youth, curious, little bit of this, and, you know, kind of in the moment, in the now, kind of say what needs to happen and, you know, move on. And it's in this opposition to Sagittarius, which is like, you know, Moses coming down the mountain with the tablets or something, you know, like, hey, this is the law, this is the truth, this is the eternal nature of evolution and growth, and expand your understanding from your Gemini left brain. Let's just make some money and have some fun and goof around and, you know, get serious. It's kind of like, you know, it's heavy. So what is the shadow? Lilith is the shadow. The shadow of Sagittarius. What are we all kind of born with? What does religion do to us? The big shadow, I would say, is, first of all, the shadow is a truth about ourselves. Lilith is a truth about ourselves that is profound, powerful, essential, and is our root energy, Kundalini power force. In Sagittarius, it says, I am in touch with the truth. I know my truth. I understand myself. I understand the world. I know. I believe. I have faith in something bigger, wider, greater. And I see the interrelatedness and the interconnection of all things. The shadow is, okay, a negative belief about myself. Lilith is where we have been told, no you don't. You don't know. You're not honest. You're not truthful. You're a sinner. You're bad. You're wrong. You need to do your meditations, do your prayers, and say your mantras. You need to earn your way back to God. This is patriarchal religion for thousands of years. Yeah? So the shadow that we're all kind of born with, right, these days is, I don't know. You ever talk to people? You know, you try to get them to take responsibility for something. Oh, I don't know. It just happened. It just is. I don't know. It's a huge cop-out. And it's even worse when we believe it, because some external authority told us. Like, you don't know yourself. You don't know what's right and wrong. You need to go to school to find out what's good and what's evil. Bullshit. Yeah, and this is this Uranus and Aries. Aries is instinct. Venus coming around to Uranus. This is our impulse and this is our instinct. And just like the deer or the bear or any wild animal, we instinctively know. If we get out of our heads and out of our stories and out of our ego and get into our bodies, Mercury and Taurus, and come in and really feel our heart space, we know what's right, we know what's wrong, we know what's truth, we know what's a lie, we know when somebody's stringing us on, you know, but we get all caught up. And this is Sun square Neptune, in wishes, hopes, and dreams. Oh, but I really want it to be that way, and I really want this relationship, and I really want this, dream to come true, this illusion that I'm living. And so we contort, we distort. Yeah, and that shadow comes along and it takes the truth and twists it around, and we play other people's games. We let other people be mom, other people be dad, other people be the teacher, other people be the wise one. Oh, wise one, tell me who I am, tell me my truth, tell me what I should do, tell me what is right, tell me what is wrong, please, please, I need to know, otherwise I may do something bad. I don't trust myself, I totally doubt myself. Oh man, right? So it takes practice, it takes time, it takes self-forgiveness, it takes a willingness to, shatter the dream or burst the bubble or come out with, our impulse or our instinct says, boom, you are this. Feel it, desire it. Know yourself through what you want, what excites you, what you desire, what you want. That is your spiritual path. Follow that. Exhaust that. Don't suppress it and deny it and try to please this other and, follow this and blah, 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 blah. So Sun comes around in opposition to Lilith. And here it is, the great big shadow. This is a time. It's associated with depression, with suicide, okay, with my light, my sun, my solar self, okay, having a shadow like an eclipse, okay, it's like, don't be that, or there's a dark cloud, a rain cloud, a thunder cloud coming across the sun, and it's all dark. Just as the sun comes out. But this is to teach us. Lilith is here. Go into the shadow. See the shadow. See how you bullshit yourself, how you lie to yourself, and then you play other people's games, and you end up, lying to them. Hiding your light, hiding your core, hiding your truth. And then it boils down to, ultimately, you disappoint them. You let them down. You play a role. Gemini is really good at this. The shapeshifter. I'll play your role. I'll be this for you. Okay, I can do this. I'm just goofing around. I shift and mutate myself into that. And then the person builds up expectations and says, wow, you're everything I wanted, you're everything I thought. It's just like, this is great, this is great, this is great. As long as you keep the mask and you keep out of your truth and you play their truth, then yeah, fine, everything's fine. Until one day, when the sun comes to oppose Lilith. And it's like, this is not my truth. This is your truth, this is your game. I'm off center. I'm out of my core. So this is a time now. Mars is moving into Cancer. Okay. Venus and Gemini coming home to the signs they rule. This is a beautiful time, and we're going to see it's kind of a coming home, and that coming home can be a coming out, and that coming out can be, I've got to speak my truth. I've got to, really sit down and be in this place, because this relationship is important. And I'm cheating you by not being all I can be. I'm cheating myself by not being all I can be, because we shrink when we doubt ourselves. Okay, when we try to be something we're not. We wilt inside, we decompose. You know, our soul just kind of withers and dies. So this is like, we can get some blasts, you know, this week, okay, with people saying, hey, who are you really? And what do you really want? And don't tell me you don't know. You do know. You know? Or we can run into doubt and fear and hang back and shrink down and I mean, it's a decision. This is a time of decision, of moving into breaking, liberating, freeing ourselves from these old masculine dominated external God, and come into the goddess, come into the inner world of my inner truth, instead of following some laws, rules laid on us by our partners, our children, our parents, our society. Get out in nature, get into your body, do your exercise, your yoga, your meditation, do your music, your painting, your art, and feel what feels good. Go in. And it's going to assist you in breaking out. Yeah! Whenever I am too afraid to speak or own my truth, my light goes dim. I wilt within, disappointing both me and you. Feel that one? So we have to come out of the fear. Remember, fear is rooted in the ego. The ego is rooted in separation. When we come into love, when we come into unity, when we come into our yoga, we get rid of that, we dispel that fear. I need to be loved as I am, who I am. I am love. I am a channel of love for you. Unconditionally love me. And we can both be free. And we can share our truth, whether we agree or disagree. So love is this healing force that helps us overcome the fear of rejection. Gemini wants to be accepted and acknowledged and loved. And so there can be this great fear of rejection. If I speak my truth, you're not going to like it. And you're not going to like me. You know? And this moon was in Leo yesterday, moving through Virgo and Gemini, moving into Scorpio. You know, we got that square moon coming up here on tomorrow. Yeah? Virgo to Gemini. Cleanse it, clean it, purify it, speak it. Gemini and Virgo, both ruled by Mercury. Mercury in Taurus. My values, my truth. Yeah? So, go get 'em, Tiger. Uranus will help. I mean, Venus Uranus will help you. Wow. Dynamite. Okay. One more time. Yeah. Whenever I am too afraid to speak and own my truth, my light goes dim. I wilt within, disappointing both me and you. Don't disappoint yourself. It's going to be okay. Get out there and be your authentic, true, awesome self. Namaste. Aloha. So much love.